Hey, welcome back to The Dive. Today on the show, we have one of our favorite guests, Kurt Marvis from QYOU Media. Kurt's joining us today to talk about the latest social media trends and fill us in on all the exciting news over at QYOU Media. Hey, Kurt, welcome back to The Dive. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, hi, Cassie. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. Okay, so Kurt, Meta's Threads app has been recently launched, providing users with alternatives to Twitter. With another social media platform now coming to the forefront, as a media company, how do you adjust to this?
Well, we've always kind of been agnostic in terms of the platforms that we associate with. So doesn't matter to us, in terms of our influencer marketing business, it doesn't matter to us whether it's TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or whatever. It's wherever the audience is that we're trying to capture. TikTok has been the predominant platform for us, for quite a few years now, actually, here in the US in particular. In India, Instagram is our primary platform because that's the most popular platform, typically for the audience that we're trying to reach for the brand. So I think that's one factor. I think, with what they're doing, with this release is obviously they're hugely advantaged by being able to leverage the existence of Facebook and Instagram. The hardest thing to do is to get an app or a platform to have hundreds of millions of users. And so when you start with that in terms of being able to promote and move people from one to the other, it's a huge difference. I mean, people forget all the time that, at least in my opinion, that Facebook owns WhatsApp. WhatsApp and they paid, I don't remember anymore, I want to say something like $20 billion for it or some massive amount of money. WhatsApp is a massive business. I mean, when you're in India or in South Asia, a lot of territories, WhatsApp, everybody has WhatsApp. So I think, in terms of our business, it's just another platform to use to be able to get messages out for brands and to be able to promote things. In terms of the advantage that they have to make it work, I would think, if you're Twitter, you're probably concerned right now.
How do you see the Threads versus Twitter battle unfolding?
I haven't actually used Threads, so I don't know. And I'm not actually a heavy Twitter user either. So I'm not a personal big user of those style platforms. Maybe I should be more. But I don't know. It's coming out of the gates. Look, their promotional campaign, which I'm sure was all planned to launch early, quote unquote. Nothing like that ever happens by accident. So everywhere you turn, people are talking about Threads. So whoever's behind the marketing push is doing an awesome job.
Okay, so let's switch gears here. According to a new projection by Digital TV Research, ad revenue from free ad-supported streaming services will reach $18 billion globally by 2028. What are the key trends or developments that you think will drive the significant growth in this market?
Well, I think, I'm sure half or more of the people that will listen to this have or use what we call a connected TV or a smart TV. When I say use, what I mean by that is they've canceled their subscription to a major cable or satellite service, and they're only using their broadband connectivity to bring in all of their content. And so now in today's world, this has only been around for about 10 years. And in today's world, we're all used to the concept of you get a new television set, you set it up, you turn it on, and you're faced with all of the apps that sit on the platform. And you start to get used to using those, whether it's YouTube TV or Samsung TV Plus or Roku or whatever your apps or platforms of choice might be. In addition to that, all of the major channels, whether it's a network like ABC or NBC here in the United States, or a TSN or a CTV in Canada, these channels are all putting up apps to be able to get to that content directly through your connected TV. So what's happening is the market share of the cable and satellite guys is going down. The market share of all the smart TV, connected TV platforms that have become so-called fast channels for the most part are growing. What is a fast channel? A fast channel stands for free ad-supported television. It's an acronym that somebody created about 3 or 4 years ago. It's kind of caught on. And what it really means is that if you go onto Roku or one of these types of platforms and you're watching that content for free, and it's got ads in it that's monetizing it, then that's a so-called fast channel. Netflix, Amazon Prime are not fast channels because you pay for those. So the fast channel universe or free TV universe is exploding, and advertisers are going into it. The reason we've made the bets that we've made in India is because over 90% of the television sold in India are smart TVs or connected TVs. The channels that are starting to move into the fast business in India are significant, and we want to ride that trend and think that it's going to be a big part of our business over the ensuing, 3, 5, 10 years.
Okay, so let's move on and talk about QYOU. You announced a recent partnership with Sadhguru. What can you tell us about this?
Well, Sadhguru has been around for quite a long time as a sort of iconic figure in the spiritual area of yoga and self-help and sort of, I guess I'll call it spiritual consciousness. And he's been very prolific in the world of social media and assembled a very large following across YouTube, across Instagram, across Twitter, all these platforms that are now reaching out to people. I'm sure it's more than this on a collective basis, but I know for sure he has over 25 million people across all of his different social platforms that follow him. And if you're in India or even here in the US and Sadhguru walks into the room, people bow down and are extremely passionate about his style and what he does. He's a very engaging guy. He's very funny. He's sort of matter of fact in the way he speaks and talks about how people should lead their lives, et cetera. So he's assembled this large following. The reason we were so interested in Sadhguru was, number one, we didn't have any channel like that sort of in our universe. Number two, it connects into the whole sort of DNA of our business, which is the connection between social video and traditional video. So we always want to make those two things work together so that someone who has a presence on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, also we believe can have a presence on connected TVs, smart TVs, and television. And so Sadhguru was a perfect personality, if you will, and a perfect iconic individual from our point of view to get into the connected TV or fast channel space. They agreed with us. They're supplying all the content. We're running all the channel, and we've started effectively, it's a joint venture with them to be able to bring that out to these connected TVs. The other big thing for us is that while he has a massive following in India, he's also globally followed. He's very, very popular in North America in particular, and even has an ashram that he operates here in the United States in Tennessee. So we see it as an opportunity to begin to push our India-based channels into the North American market, to both the diaspora and just to the regular North American audience.
So what led you to inspirational spiritual wellness and programming?
That's because we're all inspired spiritual people here at QYOU Media. Look, obviously we know that self-help and sort of consciousness, whatever you want to refer to it as, enlightenment, is a huge subject around the world now. It goes back centuries, but with people like Deepak Chopra and maybe to some extent like an Oprah Winfrey that led a new generation of people that were starting to speak to a larger audience. That only seems to be getting larger. I think among millennials and Gen Z, there's a big, it's very important for them for work-life balance, for being connected to something other than just what my life is like, which is constantly working. And so we think this is an important subject for that audience. And we also think that it's a great message to put out to people. There's nothing bad about it. So why not get involved in it?
Now, there's a lot of competition in the market today. How does QYOU differentiate itself from its competitors? How do you really define your market and customer segments?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's one we actually struggle with in terms of the financial markets a little bit, which is who do we compare ourselves to? I get asked this all the time by investors. What are the comps for QYOU Media? And it's not a great answer to say, well, there's no one like us, because it's sort of like you never want to be the only, a one horse race. On one side, you always win it. On the other side, there's no, there's no business there. It's not a race. So we're working on trying to find better ways to sort of look at our business. I think the best way, from my perspective, is that we're really creating. Sorry, a motorcycle went by outside. What we're really creating is really a next generation media company, a media company that's tied into a lot of the traditional media world, meaning television, and sort of the tenets and the themes that you would find in a traditional media marketplace, and marrying that to the explosive growth and connectivity of social media. And if you asked me, I mean, when I was a kid, media just came at you. Now you engage with it. That's the difference. And so the ability for people to feel more connected to the people that they're watching, the ability of people to transact directly with what they're watching, the ability for communities to get more involved with what they're watching. These are all things that have changed over the last decade and will continue to change. And so our business model, everything we do, is wrapped around the communities, the interactivity, the transactional relationship that viewers now have with the content that they're watching.
Now, we saw you announce the nomination of Raj Mishra to join QYOU's board of directors. What can you tell us about Raj, and what does he bring to the table?
Well, Raj is, first of all, he's a great guy. He's a young guy, and he's a smart guy. So we liked all of that. He's also very successful. And he started, in terms of his app world and career, with a app that was then called Musical.ly. Musical.ly is what we now know as TikTok. And so he was the country manager and ran Musical.ly India, which was one of their highest growth areas. The business was growing like crazy. And ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns TikTok, came in and bought Musical.ly for, I think it was 1.1 or $1.2 billion, and then turned what we then knew as Musical.ly into what we know today as TikTok. TikTok and the Indian government, because of a fight they got in with the Chinese, is now banned in India. Maybe that's going to happen here. Who knows? But Raj went from running Musical.ly, one of the fastest growing apps in India history, to running TikTok India. And it went from 50 people working there to 2,000 people in the span of about a year and a half. And so he's very, very knowledgeable about not only creating super apps and direct-to-consumer properties that are influencer driven, but specifically in the Indian market has been part of two explosively growing businesses that are, again, involved in the app and social media space in India. So we see him as a huge addition to our team in terms of his knowledge base. As we go into the direct-to-consumer model and begin to roll out things like Q Games Mela, our gaming app, and other direct-to-consumer apps that will come behind that, we see Raj as an incredibly instrumental and smart person to have on our team.
Okay, so Kurt, before we let you go here, what should investors look out for with QYOU Media over the near term?
Well, I think it's part of what we were just talking about with Raj. I think we're making the shift into where currently all of our products are distributed on other people's platforms, whether it's their television platforms, their app-based platforms, their OTT platforms. You'll see us increasingly begin to leverage the brand identity that we're starting to create with 125 million people a week that we reach through the Q branded content on other platforms, and begin to drive that into products that are our own, like Q Games Mela. So I think people should really watch what we're doing in the direct-to-consumer space. I think they should watch what we're doing in the influencer space. And I think they for sure should be watching what we're doing in the gaming space and what's happening there. So it's been a rough couple of years for everyone in the micro and small cap market space from a share price and market basis. But we say it all the time. We feel like we're just getting started at QYOU Media. So the future is really exciting for us right now.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Kurt, and giving us the update. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thanks, Cassie. Good to see you.
You too. To our audience at home, thank you so much for watching today. And if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that subscribe button below me there so you don't miss out on the next one. Bye.